Hello everybody, today we are going to be making this turkey. I do have a written pattern for this. If y'all are interested in that, that will be linked down below. So for this turkey we are going to need light brown, and then we will need the color white, and then I'm using this rusty color, and then I'm using orange, yellow, and red. And I should have mentioned, the first turkey I made, I used yellow on the feathers, but for this one, I'm going to replace that yellow stripe with the white. We will also need some scissors, a stitch marker, a needle, and a 4mm crochet hook. We will also need stuffing, which I did not show, and we will need 9mm safety eyes. So the first thing we're going to do is work on the body of the turkey. So create a magic circle and place 6 single crochets into that magic circle. Here I am showing y'all the first few single crochets, and then we'll move on to round 2. Don't forget to tighten your magic circle. So for round 2, we are going to place an increase in every stitch. If you don't know what an increase is, it is 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. So repeat that around and you should have 12 stitches at the end of round 2. At the end of round 2, I am placing my stitch marker so I can keep track of the end of my rows. Lots of people put their stitch markers at the beginning of the row, but I do mine at the end. After that, we will move on to round 3. For round 3, we will place a single crochet in the first stitch, and then the next stitch we will place an increase. And you're just going to repeat that 6 times around for a total of 18 stitches. So again, it'll be a single crochet in the next stitch, and then an increase in the next stitch. Round 4, we are going to do 2 single crochets, and then in the third stitch we'll place an increase. So we're just going to repeat that 6 times. Also going to put up on the screen round 5 and 6, and then we'll meet back at the end of round 6. So I am now back at the end of round 6, which you should have a total of 36 stitches. And for rounds 7 through 12, we are going to place 1 single crochet in every stitch. So I will meet y'all back at the end of round 12. Again, that should be 36 stitches in one round. For round 13, we're going to place 4 single crochets and then a decrease. And repeat that around until you have a total of 30 stitches. So again, after I get done with this decrease that I am showing you how to do, we are going to do 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease. And again, you'll have 30 at the end of this round. I apologize for the lighting change here, but for round 14, we are going to do 4 single crochets and then a decrease. Repeat that 5 times for a total of 25 stitches in round 14. Here I am finishing up round 14, and we are going to move on to round 15, which calls for 4 single crochets and then a decrease. Repeat that 4 times, and then do a single crochet at the very end of round 15. Okay, so here I am showing y'all that the last stitch calls for 1 single crochet. And then we are going to move on to round 16 through 17, which is just 1 single crochet in each stitch. So both of these rounds should have 21 stitches. So I will meet y'all back at the end of round 17. And also do not forget to stuff the turkey's body. Now we're moving on to round 18, which calls for 3 single crochets and then a decrease, and then you're going to repeat that 4 times, and the very last stitch will have 1 single crochet. So you should have a total of 17 stitches at the end of this round. Now we are at the end of round 18 and moving on to round 19. And for round 19, we will do a single crochet and then a decrease, repeat that 5 times, and then you'll have 2 stitches left, so we'll place 2 single crochets. So again, it's a single crochet and a decrease 5 times, and then a single crochet 2, and you should have a total of 12 at the end of this round. So now I'm going to take a moment and put some stuffing into the body again. And after round 19, we're moving on to round 20, which calls for a single crochet increase. Repeat that 6 times for a total of 18 stitches at the end of this round. Now we're on round 21, and we will do 2 single crochets and increase. Repeat that 6 times for a total of 24 stitches at the end of round 21. Now I am moving my stitch marker back to the end of this round, and we are moving on to round 22, which will be 3 single crochets and increase. Repeat that 6 times for a total of 30 stitches. Here I am at the end of round 22, and I'm going to move my stitch marker to the end of that round, and then we're going to take a moment to put some stuffing into the body again. Make sure that the body is stuffed pretty well. I should have mentioned earlier, if y'all want the stitches to be a bit tighter, I would go down a hook size, so I would use 3.5, but I'm using 4 because that is one of my favorite crochet hooks. But yeah, anyways, stuff this, and then we will move on to round 23. For round 23, we are going to do 4 single crochets and then an increase. Repeat that 6 times for a total of 36 stitches. So now we are moving on to rounds 24 through 28, and all of them rounds will just be a single crochet in each stitch. So I will meet y'all back at the end of round 28. I lost some footage somewhere, but for round 29 you will do 4 single crochets and then a decrease, repeat that 6 times. Round 30 will be 3 single crochets, a decrease, repeat that 6 times. Round 31 will be 2 single crochets, a decrease, repeat that 6 times. And then we are going to stop after round 31 so we can have enough room to move around in the turkey's head to place the eyeballs. I normally use 9mm safety eyes for the turkey. Y'all can play around with the sizes and see what y'all like best, but the eyes will be placed in between rounds 26 and 27 with 4 to 5 stitches between the safety eyes. Now we are going to place some stuffing into the turkey again. Make sure you stuff the body well and the head well. And then for round 32, we will do a single crochet, decrease, repeat 6. And then round 33, we'll do just decreases, repeating 6 times, for a total of 6 stitches. Then you'll be ready to chop off that yarn, and then just hide the tail end onto the turkey's head. Now we are ready to make the arms for the turkey. So taking that light brown again, we are going to create a magic circle. In that magic circle, place 6 single crochets, and then you will tighten your magic circle, and then we will move on to round 2. For round 2, we will do a single crochet and then increase, repeat that 3 times for a total of 9 stitches. And then rounds 3 through 11 will just be a single crochet in each stitch. At the end of round 11, we're going to place a little bit of stuffing in the ends of the arm. And then we will single crochet 4, closing the top part of the arm off. And then we'll fasten off, leaving a little bit of a tail so we can sew this into the turkey's body. And here is a small clip of me sewing this into the turkey's body. I did not show, but I placed it right where the neck and body meet. So here are both arms connected to the body, and then we are going to move on to the tail feathers. So for the tail feathers, we are going to start off with that light brown again, create a magic circle, place 6 half double crochets into this magic circle, and I will show y'all what a half double crochet looks like, which is just yarning over, placing into this magic circle, yarning over, and pulling through all 3 loops. Again, yarn over, insert into the magic circle, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. But yeah, do that 6 times, and then pull your magic circle tight, and then chain 2, turn, and then you're going to do a half double crochet increase into every stitch. Here I am at the end of round 2. So for round 3, we'll start off by chaining 2, turning your work again, and do a half double crochet in the first stitch, and then an increase in the second one. And then you will repeat that across, and I'm going to put up on the screen rounds 4 and 5 and 6, and then we will meet back at the end of round 6. At the end of round 6, we are going to be switching to white. So that very last half double crochet, before you pull through that last loop, grab your white as the last loop. Hopefully that makes sense, but I will show you in this video. So right here, grabbing it, pulling it through, and then we are moving on to round 7. So we start off by chaining 2, and try your best to catch those tails by hiding them while you're chaining, and then turn your work and half double crochet 1 in every stitch across, and I will meet you back at the end of round 7. So now we are at the end of round 7, and we're going to change our color. I'm using this brownish red color as the end of the feathers. So chain 2, and then I'm also trying to catch these ends of the yarn. And after you chain 2, you're going to turn your work, and we're going to kind of create a ruffle effect, not really a dramatic one. But for the first stitch, you're going to half double crochet, in the next stitch you're going to do a double crochet. So then the next stitch is going to be a triple crochet, and then we are going to put another triple crochet in the next stitch. And then we are going to place a double crochet in the next stitch. And then we are placing a half double crochet in the next stitch. And then you're going to repeat that process all the way across the tail feathers. So I'll put up on the screen exactly what y'all need to do for reference. And here I am at the end of round 8. Cut off the yarn, and then I'm just hiding the yarn. And here is what this will look like. And now I'm cutting off a piece of the brown so I can sew this onto the body of the turkey. So I don't have an exact spot that I put the tail feathers on. I kind of just eyeball it kind of wherever I feel like it looks best. So yeah, just mess around with it and pin it down and then sew it onto the body. Also, I want to mention that I don't sew the entire tail down onto every piece of the body. Here you can see that I have it connected to one little area on the body, one piece on the head, and another area on the body. The entire V section is sewn down. And now we're going to move on to the rest of the face. And first we're going to work on the beak, which is super simple. You create a magic circle, make sure to leave enough tail to sew down. But after that magic circle, put a single crochet into it, and then a double crochet, and another single crochet, and then you'll tighten your circle and fasten off, leaving enough to sew, and then I'll show you where to place it onto the turkey's face. Before I place the beak down, I do create the wattle first. That way the beak is on top of the wattle, and so first we will create the wattle and then we'll come back and put this onto the face. Now we are going to make the wattle. So take your red yarn, create a magic circle, and place 5 single crochets into the magic circle, and make sure you pull the magic circle tight. Now for rounds 2 through 3, we're just doing 5 single crochets in each round, and then we'll move on to round 4, which is a decrease, single crochet, decrease, and that will leave you with 3 stitches. And then at the end of round 4, I'm just chaining 1, and then I'm going to fasten off, leaving enough to sew onto the turkey. And here I am, kind of making the end a little bit neater by closing this circle up. And I placed the wattle about 4 to 5 rows down. It's kind of personal preference. Make sure you take the beak and place that on top of there before you sew it down, just to make sure that's exactly where you want the wattle placed. But yeah, just tack it down a few times, and then we will place the beak onto the turkey. So here I am with the beak, and I'm going to place that on top of the wattle just a little bit, and then I'm going to sew it down. And then here is the turkey before the feet, which will be the very last steps. For the feet, we're going to take orange yarn, and we're going to chain 7. And then we're going to start in the second chain from the hook and do 2 single crochets down that chain. And then we're going to do a slip stitch after that second single crochet. And then we will chain 3 and do 2 single crochets down that chain. And then in the next chain of that starting chain section, we will do a slip stitch, and then we will do 2 single crochets, and then we'll fasten off, making sure to leave enough to use for sewing purposes. This is also kind of a personal preference on where you want the feet aligned, so I don't have an exact spot that I place these either. So after you have the feet on, we are complete with the turkey. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this pattern, and if you would like more from me, just let me know down below. And also give me ideas on what kind of tutorials y'all would like. And I will have this topped up as a pattern so y'all can purchase and print off and use for yourself. I will have those on Etsy and Ribbrl, hopefully before this video is uploaded. But again, thank y'all for watching, and I hope that y'all have or had a great day. Bye everyone!